Since enrollment is starting for some people like me, it's June, I just wanted to give some tips or share my experience on how to be the perfect student, as if there's such thing as one. First of all, my views on education is, for me, the most rewarding thing ever is the actual learning experience, not just in terms of studying, but also how, you learn stuff about life. But of course, there are some societal standards that people have to meet, apparently. This might not apply to everyone because I know that there are other alternatives to education, and it's not necessarily just the conventional school or homeschool or online school. There are so many other ways people can learn and achieve education. I'm just talking about the ones that are government certified or acknowledged by law, or at least, the corporate people who likes to see that piece of paper with your name on it that says you are certified. I'm gonna mostly talk about how I do it or how I manage, or my experience on this topic itself. For me, the thing about grades, I'm not really all about I need to get 100 for everything, because even if there is such thing as perfection, for me the satisfaction comes to knowing and understanding the theory and being able to apply it in real life. So instead of grades being some sort of pedestal to appeal myself to other people, it's more of like a meter to how much the school thinks I understand whatever it is that they taught me. I mean, I'm not a hypocrite. I also have my lazy and unproductive days where I understood the theory and the application, but if I just can't get things perfect, as long as I pass, it's good enough for me. You don't have to take my word for everything. I'm just sharing stuff. How can someone like you get awards such as being on the dean's list or the chancellor's list, or getting straight A's, or making it on top of the list, or receiving honors, or making it on that billboard with your picture on it that says best in, or the best, or the top? I don't know. I don't have all the answers, but for me the greatest achievement in terms of excellence in education is making my parents proud and taking pride in myself that, hey, I did something good. But most of all, it's for His glory. I'm sounding over dramatic, but at the end of the day, that's really just all I want to think about. If I know that I did my best and it somehow reflected on my performance, I am satisfied. Until high school, I'm the laziest person when it comes to studying. I have such a bad influence, but I also came to that point of somebody who I'm guilty for cramming, and that's okay. We're teenagers, or I don't know what excuses you're gonna give to validate that point, but here I am making an effort to be productive. So I decided to try and change my life in college. So this started back in Segi, Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia, and I must say that when you put yourself into it, you actually bear fruit. So here's what I did. So if you might think that this comes up as I don't see my image being a person like that, well, that's okay, but it's just some tips that work for me and I want to share it with you. This comes to the bragging part. Back in Segi, I was always at the top of my class. The number one thing that really worked for me, and you might come off as a teacher's pet, but sit in the front. You want to minimize distractions. Even though I'm long-sighted, I want to sit right in the front because that's where the important part of the class happens. When you're close to the teacher, you hear everything they say and you see the material that they're trying to do, and you're not all the way to the back like I was in high school where I observe and see everything. Everything is a distraction. Next is notebook. I'm a writer, so I need to see and hear something in order to fully grasp anything. So back in high school, I went to the grocery and bought B5 notebooks. I don't know where to insert the pictures, and I just separated it by subject. And so what's in those notebooks? I'm more of a bullet writer, so I tend to just go straight to the point. Whatever about this topic, here's the keywords and the most important part. And later on, if I need to intensively study, I won't have to read a whole paragraph in order to grasp it. Instead, I can just be like, okay, I get it. The teacher said this in class. Okay, I understand it. So with sitting up front, I'm able to listen to the teacher and everything that they say. So even if I just write keywords, I'm able to remember what the teacher mentioned in class. And the most important thing with writing is you put your questions. So whenever the teacher says something and you don't have a clue what they said, you write it down quickly in your notebook. Then you can ask the teacher later, or when you forget to ask the teacher, at least you wrote it down. You can research it yourself. There are some people who, they have short attention spans, like me. So at first what I did is I pretended. I gave it a fake it till you make it kind of attitude where you have to take interest. Even though it's not your specialty, you don't understand it, or maybe you don't like the subject at all. Just, listen attentively. I mean, the teacher is getting paid a salary to be able to impart their knowledge and wisdom on you, because it's their job, and it's the reason why you're paying the school in the first place, is so that you can learn whatever it is that they're going to teach you. So why not, might as well make the most out of it. So I immersed myself by really asking questions. There comes a point in the class where do you have any questions? That's when my notes come in handy, and I'm just like browsing through my notes. Like everyone in class already knows that I'm going to be asking questions. So sometimes when I don't want to be annoying, I tend to wait until the end of the class before asking. I have a short session with my teacher, but sometimes if I think that maybe there's a lot of people in the class who didn't understand it, I tend to ask it so everyone in the class can benefit from the question. And I kind of feel happy that I spread this attitude among my friends or my other classmates, because I start seeing them, they are also writing notes and they also started asking questions. They might not necessarily sit in the front like I do, but hey, it's good influence, and there's something to be proud of, The next thing is the productive window. This is important for me because, like I said, I procrastinate. I still had my own laptop then. It wasn't broken, so I would do all my work in the class or in the library until it's finished. I just try to finish all the projects, especially if they're light and don't require a lot of research. So when I get heavier assignments such as theses or dissertations or presentations like that requires a group effort, I'm pretty much done with all the easier homework. My productive window is basically before reaching home, which is in between class breaks and just the few minutes after class if it's not rush hour. But my favorite productive window is early in the morning. Our classes usually start at 9, but because rush hour starts around 7-ish, I tend to leave the house at 6:30 and I reach school at 7. So I have that 2 good hours of isolation, which is perfect for someone like me. Because I'm the kind of person, you do school stuff in school. If you do school stuff at home, then the purpose of home kind of loses its meaning. Because for me, being at home means being able to relax. Everybody's favorite part, which is exams. When we're talking about exams, I think it's vital to really understand rather than memorize. Just try to go through my head. And I'm also the type on the day of exams where everybody likes to ask me questions because they think I know everything, but it's actually an opportunity for me to review, because whenever I answer their questions, it gets me thinking too. When I end up cramming after all, I'd like to create acronyms. Keywords are important. It's the most important parts ever when it comes to studying, and that is taking breaks, eating good food, and I don't mean junk food. And there are scientific studies regarding video game music. They are designed to help you focus more. So if you don't test that out, then don't. I hope all of y'all will be till next time. Bye!
Blackbird fly into the light of a dark black night.